Hello vlog, long time no see. It's been about 3 weeks, or by the time I put this up, maybe 4 weeks since I uploaded my last video. And I know I said that in my goal setting video. One of them was to be more consistent this year. So yeah, I know I said that consistency was one of my goals for this year, and it still very much is, but I haven't really started off 2021 kind of meeting that. And that's because you don't need me to tell you 2021 has not started off on the best foot. It's just been really tough dealing with lockdown 3, kind of going through everything that we went through in 2020. But this time it somehow feels 100 times harder. And it's because the weather, it's because it's winter time, it's because we've been through this before, and now we know, like, it's just, well, we don't know really when the end to this will be. So it's just been so much harder. And for like sake of transparency, I've just been dealing with a lot of kind of like mental health ups and downs. I get quite bad SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder. And the last month has felt like, well, 3 weeks on, or so, has felt like a daily battle every day, trying to get myself out of bed. I mean, I'm having to, because obviously I've got lessons to teach and I'm doing all live lessons, which on the plus is really good because it means I get to kind of speak to my kids every day, and it's a bit more, I get to actually do like real-time feedback, real-time teaching and everything. So that has been good. But on the downside, dealing with SAD, dealing with just general lockdown anxiety, and dealing with having to kind of like be switched on all day for online teaching has been a bit of a nightmare. In all honesty, like, it's just been really tough. And I kind of reached a rock bottom last week where I just kind of started crying. I was just kind of sat and I was speaking to my midweek group. So that's a church group that I'm a part of. It's a really good way to just kind of stay grounded. So we do meet up online every week, and even that I haven't been going for a while because my headspace was just not right. Like, when I'm not feeling good, I close up. And I don't want to talk to anybody about how I'm feeling, apart from like a couple of people. And trying to kind of convey that online on a video call is not what I wanted to do. I went last week and I just started crying. I realized I was completely empty. I was running on empty. I had no energy. I had no motivation. Every day I'm wondering if this is what I want to do. Every day I'm thinking I can't do it anymore, and I'm trying to figure out what like my drive is every day, what my purpose is every day, just getting my energy together, and it's just not been happening. So yeah, I kind of like reached bottom last week. I was just like completely empty. And then in my midweek, we started actually doing a well-being kind of journey, a well-being group, and that was so good. It was so kind of revelatory, I think is the word I want to use there, where I realized like just what kind of a low I was on, how that like, it's just not me. Me in the winter is so different from me in the summertime. I'm like two completely different people with different drives. One, in the summertime, I'm like super excited and always outside and always ready to go and always planning something new and having so much fun. And then in the winter, I literally just want to curl up in my bed and not see anyone, not speak to anyone, not plan anything, not do anything. I just want to hibernate, and I wish I could be a bear. But I can't, because I'm a human, so I have to keep going. We kind of were talking about 5 different parts of your life that help you to kind of stay healthy, to have a good well-being. So I'll kind of talk through them now. So it is actually six different areas of life that you kind of need to keep in a balance to have good well-being. So those were physical, emotional, spiritual, relational, financial, and vocational. And I've only done the first week of it. So as we go through, we're going to be talking about each one in a little bit more depth. But this is what I've taken away from it so far. My physical well-being was at an all-time low. I wasn't doing any exercise. I was going for walks, actually, that's not true. I am trying to go on really long walks to get my steps in and clear my head. So that's been going well. But I wasn't doing any like active workout. My emotional reserves were on an all-time low. I was literally sitting there crying. And that was just the kind of release of all of the emotion that I had felt up until that point since the new year began. And to be fair, this was happening way before the new year. This was happening since like October, November. I've been feeling this way, but I think lockdown has just compounded it, and I realized, yeah, my emotions are a mess. My spiritual well-being has been pretty good. I have been trying to kind of read my Bible, read my scriptures, and talk to God. So that I felt was going pretty well. Relational, as I said, like I've got a few people in my life who I very much do communicate with on a really regular basis and try to kind of stay open with, but even that I find really difficult. And it's mainly through messaging. Because I'm doing live teaching, the thought of like having loads of calls is too much for me. So my like relational aspects in that way were okay, but not as strong as they could be. Financial, my budget is all over the place. I'm trying to work on that this year. I'm trying to save hard this year. That's one of my goals as well, to really save hard. My finances are not where they should be. And vocational. And that was the one that hit me hard. I think being a teacher is always going to be really consuming, just by nature of what it is that you're doing, the work that you're having to do. And this year, and especially since the pandemic hit, I've been really thinking about my vocation and what it really means, what it really is in the first place, and just questioning, am I doing what I really love? Am I doing it out of a sense of this is something that fills me up? Or has it become something that I'm actually giving away more of me to? That's the question that I've been asking myself. Am I being filled up by this from an inward sense? Or am I giving out more than I have? And I realized that recently I've been giving out all that I have, to a part where I was just left kind of feeling low in all these other parts of my life as well. And that has been really tough for me to kind of figure out and for me to deal with. And I think I've reached a point where I'm a little bit burnt out, in all honesty. And I'm trying to kind of work around that, and I'm trying to like think about ways that I can make that a better situation. Because I do love what I do, and I need to kind of find my way back to knowing that is a truth. So I'm struggling with that at the moment. And yeah, so that's what's been kind of going on with me. And since we had that session and I wrote all of those things down, this week I've been trying to make a real active change, and I feel like it has been making a difference. My battery died, so I've had to make a scene change. So I have been setting my alarm early every day this week, and I've been going into my living room, and it's been actually quite nice to do it before the sun comes up, because it feels like it's literally just me in the world, which is quite a nice feeling. I set my mat out and I do some exercise in the morning. I tried to keep it quiet so I'm not waking everybody else up, but I do some exercise in the morning before I start my day, and that has made a real change, just because it means I do have that time for me. And it means that I'm actively using my body and getting those endorphins up, and that is so important when not moving at all. So doing that has been really good for my physical well-being, which has then impacted my emotional well-being. And it's funny because I've actually been teaching my year 7s about that this week, and talking about how your physical and emotional well-being are so intertwined, and that for them to take care of themselves, they need to be looking after both. And I wasn't. So I was a bit of a hypocrite. So I thought, you know what, let me actually live by the words I'm teaching. And I've been doing it, and it does feel really good. This morning I woke up and I decided I'm gonna go for a run. So I went and did that. I came back just before the snow started, and it has been snowing today. It's really gorgeous outside. And then I came back and I did a reggaeton dance workout. Like I've spoken before, I love reggaeton. I love kind of salsa dancing and bachata dancing. So I did a workout that had all three, and now my endorphins are so high. I've got a lot of adrenaline. So I just feel really, really good. I have been making more of an effort to be more open and transparent with my friends and my family, and even like the fact that I've been able to turn on the camera this morning. This is really good for me to be able to just vocalize these things out loud and talk to you. My financial health, I'm working on it. My spiritual well-being, I've been trying to keep that up. My vocational well-being, like this is going to be a process of me just working through, you know, trying to make it so that I am able to take stock each day and say, I did well today. I might not have been able to do everything that I wanted to do, but I did what I could do, and feeling okay with that, and knowing when to say, and that is enough. You know, I don't have to go over and beyond what I'm capable of, because we are living in a pandemic. You can't do what you're expected to do when you're not. These are really different circumstances, and being expected to do everything that you could have done pre-pandemic is not a realistic, it's just not realistic. And I think that's where the harm comes in, when you put the pressure on yourself to say, no, I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this, because this is what I have to do as a teacher. And, you know, there are certain work pressures that you have, like, you just have to get on with. But beating yourself up when you feel like you haven't been able to maybe do what you wanted to do is so unhealthy. And I'm learning that, to just like have grace with myself with that. And, you know, being a teacher is a part of me, but my well-being is the most important thing right now. So I'm just like learning to set my own boundaries with myself and say, this is what you need to do today, so you need to push yourself to get to that point. But beyond that, it's okay. Beyond that, it's okay to not exhaust all of your supplies. It's important to not exhaust all of your supplies and your reserves of energy. So yeah, I'm working on that still. And then yeah, so that's been my headspace. I kind of forgot why I started talking. That's been where my head has been at for the last 3 weeks, and that's why I've not picked up this camera, because I just couldn't. I didn't know what I would say. I didn't know what I would talk about. I didn't know. I was like, well, why are people gonna want to watch this? This is boring. Why would anybody want to? But, you know, even if nobody watches this, it's nice for me to just be able to kind of say these things out loud and have a record of it, and then in time I can look back and see kind of where I was at and hopefully how I've grown. But for anybody else who's going through this headspace as well, like, your well-being is so important, and in the winter time it's tough. And if you're going through that, acknowledge those feelings. Don't try to bat them away. If you feel like you don't have no motivation, if you feel like you don't have any drive, if you feel like you can't get up each day, there are thousands, if not millions, of other people who feel that way too. You're not alone in that feeling. It's a really difficult one, because you feel a bit like you just not doing anything. And when you have to be active each day, that headspace, that gap between what you know you need to do and what you feel like you're capable of doing can seem like it's 1,000 miles wide. And that's what I've felt like. The gap between what I know I need to get done each day and what I feel like I am capable of doing each day has felt like it's impossible for me to put the two together. But you just got to take it day by day. Day by day you get there, and do little things that bring you that sense of joy, and take care of your headspace, because it's the most important thing you have. Take care of your body, because the two are connected. They go together, and you're gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this. We're all gonna get through this time. So today, I'll bring you with me as I do something to kind of bring myself back into that good headspace again. So I've just done my workout, had a shower, I feel good, I feel fresh, I feel human again. I've taken my hair out, washed my hair. There's a twist out pending. This is not the final stage. It will get to a gorgeous twist out soon. So I feel good. I've taken my nails off. I'm gonna paint them. I feel good. and I'm gonna go and make a cake. I was going to make a snow themed cake anyway, and then it started snowing. I was like, oh, perfect. So I'm gonna try and get that done now, and I'll bring you with me as I do it. Here is the finished product. I am pretty happy with it. It's my first time ever doing a rope buttercream border like this, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So that was a nice little weekend project. I'm gonna cut into it, and I'm a bit nervous that hopefully it will look just as good on the inside. Oh, the lighting in here is not great. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna do a crazy cut right across because I want to see what the cross section looks like. This is gonna look a bit nuts. Let's have a look. Oh, that is such a good cross section. Those layers look so neat. I'm really happy with that. I have to say, one of the things I am enjoying about teaching from home, there's not a lot to enjoy, but I get to eat fresh meals and I get to spend more time cooking, which is nice. I don't have to rush everything and then try to microwave everything in the staff room microwave. And I'm in no means big enough, even in the slightest, remotest sense, to have a sponsored video. But I do use HelloFresh, and I am using a HelloFresh recipe today, and I thought I'd show it because it's pretty cool. I get to play with ingredients that I would never pick up in the supermarket on my own. So I'm making this Baharat roasted chantenay carrot salad today, which looks pretty good. And like, it seems really small, but it's got fresh dill. I don't think I've ever picked up dill in a supermarket. Something called Zug style paste, which looks like it's gonna be really yummy. So I'll see how that turns out. And tahini as well, which I've eaten plenty of times, but I've never bought it. I've never cooked it to use. So I think HelloFresh is really cool for that, for just like making you try experiments out, try food experiments out, try new recipes that you would never make on your own. It's a pretty decent price for what you get. I think I am gonna start using it less and trying to like buy the ingredients myself. Now that I know all the recipes, I can buy them in slightly bigger quantities for slightly cheaper price. But for what it is, it's really good. So let's see how this one turns out. This one also uses purple carrots, which I love. They're just so cool, and I love the fact that actually orange carrots as we know them are not the way that they should be. Like, they are natural, but actual carrots in their original state grew purple, but we don't really see these so much. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna get to cooking, and then let's see how this dish turns out. And that is the finished product. And it's pretty good. I do have to eat quickly now though, because one thing that doesn't change is I have to start working very, very, very soon. So I'm gonna eat this really, really quickly.